Okay, chapter 10. Chapter 10 is the trigonometry stuff, which is more kind of algebraic, solving equations, etc. And less geometric, which is pictures of triangles, stuff on graphs. So, basic stuff to begin with. Hopefully you all know how to solve sine theta is equal to something to get the first answer. So you just put that in your calculator, use the inverse sine to work out the angle. But your calculator will always give you what's called the principal value. So the principal value is just the first one, the one that comes out of the calculator. But if you know the graph of sine, for each half, for each value of x, each value of sine x, there's going to be an infinite number of answers because it just keeps going in both directions as well, goes negative. So how to find those other answers, which aren't the ones that your calculator gives you, is vital for all of this whole chapter. So firstly, we get the principal one. Now some people use cast diagrams, I'm not going to go through those. Other people use the graph, also fine, I won't go through that. This is my favourite way, which is if you're doing sine, you do 180, take the principal answer, the principal value. So if it comes out to be 30, the next one is 180, take 30. So it gives you two values, and for almost every number you can put here, so anywhere between 1 and -1, you can get two solutions per wave, so per 360 degrees. You're going to get the one that comes out of your calculator, and then the one that you get by taking it away from 180. For cosine, you take it away from 360 to get the second one, and for tan, you add it to 180 to get the second one. Now once you've got the first one and the second one, for whatever you've got, sine, cos or tan, you get the other ones by just adding or subtracting 360 from these two. Because if you've got the ones from the first wave, the second wave is just 360 degrees later. So add 360 on, you get two more solutions. The next wave is another 360, then another 360. Okay? And you can also do the waves before by taking away 360. So once you've got these two, you can work out all of them by just adding and subtracting 360 however many times you need to. When you're solving an equation like this, where it says a number of sine, you just first make it sine equals, and then do exactly the same thing. Inverse sine gets you 41.8. Take that away from 180 to get the second answer, and if I wanted more, I would do 360 plus that, so 401.8, and 360 plus this. Okay. Slightly more difficult would be if this is not just theta or x, but it says something else, like 3 theta plus 25. Let's say that I'm trying to solve this for all the values between 0 and 360. Because it says 3 theta, that means 3 theta is a transformation where everything gets squished towards the y-axis, by a factor of 3. You're going to have 3 times as many solutions. So instead of having one wave in 360 degrees, you're going to have 3 waves. It's going to go one wave, another wave, another wave. So 3 lots of solutions. To find them, do the same as down here. Right, make it sine of something equals a number. Inverse sine to get what's inside the brackets. Down here, those were our values of theta. But when it's like this, those aren't our values of theta. They're our values of 3 theta plus 25. But it's at this stage you find your multiple solutions. Okay, so as soon as you inverse sine, that's where you get the principal value, take it away from 180, then add 360 to those, add 360 to those again. Okay, I know that I'm going to need 6 solutions, so I've done 6 answers to that. If I needed more solutions, I'd just do more answers by just repeatedly adding 360 degrees. If I want negative, I was doing between 0 and 360. If I was going from minus 180, then I'd have to take away 360 to make sure there's no answers there. And then for each of these, you're going to solve this equation. So imagine the first one, 3 theta plus 25 is 53.1. Take away 25, divide by 3. But you've got to do that for each answer. Take away 25, divide by 3. take away 25, divide by 3. Take away 25, divide by 3 for each individual answer. Okay, but you're going to get all those answers at this stage when you inverse sine. Get one answer, find the second one by either taking it away from 180 for sine, taking it away from 360 for cos, or adding it onto 180 for tan. You need to know those. 180 take, 360 take, 180 plus for sine, cos and tan. And then once you've got those two, add 360. I can't emphasize enough how important that is. Like being able to find multiple answers to sine of something equals something. Okay? And cos of something equals something, and tan of something equals something. Right. Last thing is the identities part. So this is one of your identities, sine squared plus cos squared equals 1, always, no matter what the value of x, that's why it's an identity. And then here, sine x over cos x equals tan x. This isn't an identity because cos x can be equal to 0, so it's not true for all values of x. But these are the two identities, and they are the only two you need to know. This one can be rewritten into two useful ways. So sine squared is 1 minus cos squared, and cos squared is 1 minus sine squared. Both of those are very useful as well for solving those like identity questions. But the piece of advice there's two bits of advice. Firstly, if you're trying to do one of those identity questions where it says prove this trig thing is this other trig thing, if the thing you're trying to prove contains squares, either cos squared, sine squared, use these. Okay, you're looking for a single trig like type. You want either sine or cos or tan. If you can get it so that everything is either sine, cos or tan, then you're on for a winner. And then you're looking for these pseudo quadratics a lot of the time at AS. You're looking for something that is like a quadratic. This is cos squared, cos and a number, which is like a quadratic. You would solve it using your quadratic thing on the calculator to find values of cos A. It's not going to solve it for you. It finds you values of cos A in this case, or sine A, or tan A. And then when you've got cos of a number equals a number, or cos of A equals a half, then it's like this. Right? Cos of a number equals a half, these are your solutions for that. Or it's equal to a third, you've got to do both. So set cos A equal to a half and solve it, and then do cos A equals a third and solve it. Okay? Look for these pseudo quadratics because I think 70% of the time of the awkward questions involving identities, especially at AS, they involve some kind of quadratic at some point that you need to kind of semi-solve to get cos A equals something or sine A equals something, and then you do this sort of idea where you're just solving it to find the multiple solutions. Look for what range you need, so if theta is between 0 and 360 or between 360 and 540, like that'll be in the question. That'll tell you whether you want just these or whether you want to find multiple solutions like I did in this question. Okay, that's that. Enjoy.